The story of Pandora's box is a chilling legend that tries to explain the evils of this world while showing the disdain and disregard that some of the Greek gods held towards humanity. To this day, opening Pandora's box is an ominous way of describing an act or decision that could have unforeseen and sometimes dire consequences. In today's episode, we'll be opening up and unraveling the story of Pandora's box. After the Titan Prometheus stole the fire of Olympus and gave it to humanity, Zeus was enraged, and he wanted to punish mankind, even though they were innocent. Perhaps he felt disrespected, and now he wanted to exert his power and authority and show his might. Or maybe, in some twisted way, he still believed that humanity was somehow responsible for the theft. He created a very subtle and seemingly harmless device, which would come to be known as Pandora's box, and in it he placed many of the evils and vile things that would come to trouble humanity, though it also contained hope within it. It's worth mentioning that even though many modern depictions portray this device as a box, it was actually a pithos, which was a fancy Greek name for a jar. To make his plan work, Zeus needed a mortal to whom he could give this jar to, and he asked Hephaestus, the god of the forge, to create the first mortal woman named Pandora, and every god and goddess bestowed a gift upon her. Some of these were positive traits, such as beauty, charm, boldness, and music. Yet there were also some darker and more malicious gifts, such as cunning, persuasion, lying, and curiosity. Zeus's plan was now in motion, and he would offer Pandora as a bride to Prometheus's brother. And something about this gift seemed wrong and suspicious to Prometheus, and he begged his brother not to accept it. However, it was too late, and his advice fell on deaf ears. For the moment Prometheus's brother saw Pandora, he was smitten by her beauty and talent, and he graciously accepted her hand in marriage. On their wedding day, Zeus approached Pandora and gave her the jar, and he told her that it contained many special gifts from the gods, though it must never be opened. What incredible gifts could possibly be hidden inside it, and what harm could come from opening it? These thoughts slowly ate away at Pandora as her curiosity grew, and one day she could no longer suppress them, and she lifted the jar's lid ever so slightly, just to get a small peek of what lay inside it. And in that moment, Zeus's plan would come to fruition, and many of humanity's worst woes, such as war, sadness, disease, and death, rushed out of this jar and became a part of the world. As Pandora became aware of what she had just unleashed upon humanity, she panicked, and she closed the lid shut, for she hoped that this would at least prevent further evils from escaping. Though, ironically, the only thing that she trapped inside was the last thing that remained in the jar: hope. The one thing humanity needed the most to fight and hold off all of these new evils. You might think it was Pandora's fault that hope remained trapped inside of this jar, though according to Hesiod, it was actually Zeus's will that kept it there. It's also worth mentioning that Pandora's name means all gifted, a reflection of the many traits and blessings that the gods bestowed upon her. Well, friends, this marks the end of today's video, and I hope you guys found it interesting. Do you think that Pandora was responsible for unleashing these evils, since she could not control her curiosity? Or do you think that she had little choice in the matter, since, after all, it was the gods that made her curious? And what do you think about Zeus and his cruel plan to punish humanity?